In this webisode, wow, has Bitcoin actually defended 10,000 US dollars? Bitcoin is currently having a little move to the upside, along with many altcoins, guys, and more importantly, the SPX as well. So what is next to come for the cryptocurrency market over the weekend? Guys, the biggest thing that's happened so far is defending the 21-week moving average for Bitcoin, and this is actually extremely akin to here back in the prior bear market. Going into that bull market, guys, this is actually something very interesting that occurred between its corresponding two very key levels on the Fibonacci and of this resistance that Bitcoin is actually kind of mimicking right now. So we're going to be delving into that and what Bitcoin will have to do to actually cement that. And guys, we cannot get too bullish yet because we do have some very key divergences on both the 4 and 1 hour chart for Bitcoin. But even more importantly, on the SPX, we're actually having bullish divergence, and I believe that is the cause for this current rally, so we're going to be diving into that as well. Wow, welcome back, pumpers, dumpers, and thick-bottomed rumpers. Guys, we have so much to be delving into in today's webisode, as in fact, some very interesting things are playing out on these charts where we actually have some very confirmed bearish divergences along multiple time frames of multiple cryptocurrencies. However, we're seeing bullish divergence here on the SPX and a nice move to the upside, and coincidentally or non-coincidentally, we're seeing the SPX rise as well. So just how correlated is the cryptocurrency market currently with the SPX? We have so much to hippity hop into this webisode, so if you're new, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and ding that little bell so you get updated when we upload new videos like this. And as well, leave a comment below to be entered for these ledgers, guys. And make sure to include in your comment if you think we're on the verge of a juicy pump or an extra dirty dump. Wow, guys, so we can actually start here on the daily chart, where I think one of the most key things happening is that after spending the last 4 days below the 21-day moving average for Bitcoin, we came back above it yesterday, as we talked about. We bounced back exactly to it earlier. You can see this very large wick, and now we're actually trading significantly above that. So have we defended the $10,000 level for Bitcoin, or is this just a very small rally before we're actually going to continue to the downside, guys? Because on these larger time frames, we have not done anything too significant. We have not set a higher high. Technically, we're still setting lower lows, but being above the 21-day moving average is key. But even more key than that, if we zoom out to the weekly chart, we're still getting that bounce on the 21 weekly, which is absolutely vital, right? This is one of the most important things to be watching for in all of Bitcoin and all of cryptocurrency, getting a bounce here. So what I actually want to draw your attention to before we get into more altcoin analysis, more Bitcoin, and looking at the SPX, what is happening now is very akin to what we saw in that last bear market heading into the bull market. And we've talked about this before, but this is just very important, guys. So as we were trying to break out of this level, okay, this is let's pull it out here. We'll pull out the Fibonacci here. Okay, we'll go from the highs to the lows here. And you can see the golden pocket. We had a very hard time getting above that, right? And we actually also had trouble getting above the 786. Now, if we draw that same exact thing currently on the charts here, you see something very, very similar, right? The 786 is right about that $13,000 level, and the golden pocket is what we're trying to defend right now, right? So this, in my opinion, is very similar to this exact area right here, back in August of 2016. So we initially find a lot of resistance right under this golden pocket. We break above it, face resistance to the 786, come back down, defend the golden pocket, and then the rest is history. The rest is history, right? After defending the golden pocket, we ended up going on to rally to new all-time highs and ended up going to 20,000 US dollars. So currently what we're seeing is something very similar, right? We face a lot of rejection at this golden pocket. We break above to the 786, get a rejection, and now we're trying to defend this golden pocket, guys. And this is the most important thing to be watching with this Fibonacci level, right? Defending this, which again also is exactly where the 21-week moving average is. So we're defending the golden pocket and the 21-week moving average. And that was the exact same case back here in August of 2016. The 21-week moving average was exactly at the golden pocket. And that is exactly what we're seeing now. So guys, ultimately, again, if we end up defending this area, this is by far the most bullish scenario for Bitcoin's price. But the only thing that I want to rein in a little bit of excitement about is the seeming very strong correlation between cryptocurrency, basically everything, and the SPX, right? So with the SPX, what we actually saw earlier, we saw some confirmed bullish divergence, regular divergence where we have this low, lower low, but we have a RSI low and then a higher low on the RSI. And, you know, that so far has been leading us to the upside. And currently, this is actually very key for the SPX. we are getting a very strong bounce, obviously, at this key area we talked about 32.30 for the SPX. You can see 2 green candles so far, kind of an indecision candle yesterday, and a very bullish candle so far. We still have about 2.5 hours before this closes. Even more importantly, as we talked about yesterday, on this weekly chart. We talk about the 21 weekly for Bitcoin all the time. The 21 weekly for the SPX, we're defending that as well. This is very important that we defend, right? Because we've already smashed below the 21 and 50 day, the 21 day and 50 day moving average. We've already smashed below that, right? And we talked about that, but we're getting a bounce at the more important 21 week moving average. And again, that also lines up with this key level of support right about here around 32.30, as we said. But as you can see here, guys, this is very crucial that if we're going to maintain a healthy market, that we do get a bounce at the 21 week. As I always say, I think the 21 week is one of the most, I think it's personally the most critical moving average to be looking at and to determine if we're in a bullish or bearish scenario. And again, if we actually maintain this bounce and we continuously, we don't fall through the 21 week, then ultimately this is bullish. The last few weeks have looked very bearish as we're just continuously setting lower lows. However, if we actually do continue this trend and we keep bouncing and we don't go below this 21 week, then ultimately that's bullish. And ultimately, what's going to happen in the crypto space is that crypto will thrive. If the broader economy, or specifically if the SPX doesn't completely tank, then my outlook for Bitcoin over the next 3 months is extremely bullish. And it's always been that way. If the SPX does not get destroyed, right, then I definitely think Bitcoin is heading into some of the most bullish few months of its history. And with that being said, altcoins as well. So you can see here for Ethereum, on these smaller time frames, we were actually developing some bearish divergence, which is why it's important to factor in a lot of things, because most importantly, I think the SPX is the bigger indicator right now. So we have to watch what it's doing before we just do single analysis on some altcoins. But ultimately, Ethereum has still been holding this level of about 340, which is key. And obviously, Chainlink has actually been popping off over the last 48 hours as well. It perfectly defended our area down here, about $7.40. Now we're facing something else where we're coming up the 21-day moving average, and that's where we're finding a little resistance so far. So getting above $11 would break us back above that. So guys, in the short term, if Chainlink breaks above its 21-day moving average, that is a very bullish indication. But ultimately, what we want to be watching for, obviously, is Bitcoin on this weekly chart. And as long as we continuously bounce on the 21 week, we could actually be seeing a situation very similar to us exiting the bear market of 2016, which would be beautiful. Guys, I've been a little bit bearish over the last week or so, and I'm going to keep that stance until we actually get more confirmations. But I would love nothing more to be heading up on this trajectory like this, guys. I have plenty of crypto. I have basically all the crypto I'd be comfortable with to be entering a bull run, meaning I'm ready to just start making easy gains week after week, right? I would love to see this scenario take place where we just start heading up. Again, I'm not 100% sure that that's exactly what's going on just yet, but the confirmations we're getting on some of these time frames are strong. And as long as the SPX, again, does not get decimated, then Bitcoin, in my opinion, 100% will be having some very nice gains over the next 3 months to end out 2020. And what I'm really excited about is that if we defend this area, this is absolutely gorgeous, right? If we defend like the 10,003 to 10,005, roughly that whole area, where we face significant rejection for the entire year of 2019, basically, and then even the first half of 2020, just over and over rejection. If we actually defend this area, then again, that is ultra bullish. So when we combine this chart, okay, if we maintain this chart here, and when we combine that with the weekly chart, and specifically looking at the previous patterns that we just showed you at the beginning of the video, in terms of these Fibonacci levels and breaking the 786 after getting rejected there first and then bouncing off of the golden pocket, then again, guys, that is actually beautiful. That would be picture perfect, and that is by far the most bullish scenario. Like I said, I am not 100% convinced just yet that we're definitely going towards the most bullish scenario, but as long as we hold the 21 week, that is the most key thing. And holding that 21 week, basically what that means is we need to stay above, it's actually crazy. It lines up exactly with $10,000. So holding the psychological support of 10K, the previous very, very, very strong resistance that hopefully has flipped to support of 10K, also with the 21 weekly at 10K. And as you can see here on this weekly, you can see this accumulated VPVR volume is very, very heavy along this entire area from basically 6,400 all the way up to $10,000. There is a lot of VPVR support. And again, that can just line up with all of those other factors that we talked about as well. With that being said, we 100% need to watch out for this because we have bearish divergence here on the 4 hour for Bitcoin. You can see that here with a high and a higher high, but a high and a lower high here on the 4 hour. And we see the same thing here with Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart. And Ethereum actually has that as well. If we go to its, I believe it was on the 1 hour. Yeah, on the 1 hour, we actually have bearish divergence there as well. And actually Chainlink as well, this is actually crazy. Chainlink had bearish divergence. This is actually considered exaggerated bearish divergence because we have basically the same area here that lines up, but lower on the RSI. We have a high and then a lower high here on the RSI. But as you can see here, it broke up. So again, this is still too early to tell. But with all of these small time frame bearish divergences, and actually as I'm recording, we are going down a little bit. So maybe this short-term bearish divergence theory might actually be correct. But ultimately, the thing that is leading the market is by far the SPX. And the SPX did have some bullish divergence here on these smaller time frames on this hourly chart. And again, could that continuously push us up to above 3,300? If that did, we'd see Bitcoin continue up. And you can see SPX looks to be finding a little bit of resistance right about this 50 moving average here on this 1 hour chart. So guys, most importantly, what do you think? Do you think that based on these two charts, the two biggest macro patterns, right, basically this entire bear market heading into a bull market of 2013, ending in 2017 or 2018, relates to this that we've been in the last bear market for the last few years? Do you think these two very, very long-term patterns are identical in the sense that as soon as we break the 786, clearly I do believe that's going to be moon, meaning after we break about 13.5, okay, I think we're headed up to all-time highs as soon as we break 13.5. But do you think that it's just a coincidence that we initially face resistance at the golden pocket, then go up to the 786, get rejected, find support at the golden pocket, and then head up? And the exact same scenario here, where we have initial resistance, the golden pocket, break above it, 786 is then resistance, find support on the golden pocket, and then ultimately, again, if that pattern completely repeated, then what we would see is a slow inching up over the next few weeks to be breaking all-time highs, and that's when we go parabolic. Wow, make sure to leave your comment below, guys, to enter for that ledger. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Guys, if you're interested in trading, make sure to take advantage of our bonuses below, only if you have experience trading. Both Bybit and Femex links below are offering 20% trading fee reductions currently, and there's some very nice deposit bonuses on both of them as well. So if you're interested, make sure to take advantage of that, and I'll see you in the next Schwabisode.